Michael Jackson, he's the biggest music artist to ever exist. You know him, I know him, and the entire world knows it. At his peak, Michael's global recognition was basically universal, making him arguably one of the biggest names to ever exist, and one of the most influential people to ever walk the earth. His influence reached every single corner of the globe, including Japan. Michael has always been a huge figure in my life that I've loved, and with his upcoming biopic releasing, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to make a video about his influence in the land of the rising sun. So grab yourself a drink, maybe a snack, and buckle in as we go back in time to 1973, as the Jackson 5 tour was in full swing. The Jackson 5 tour landed Michael and his brothers in Japan for the very first time, and they were shown love immediately. They were absolutely mocked in Haneda Airport. Japan has always had a huge affinity for child prodigies, so naturally, Michael stood out amongst his brothers. He was on a level on his own. That added with his kawaii image, which is basically synonymous with Japan at this point, made him perfect for Japan's pop culture scene. And that soft-spoken childlike nature, and it became a key characteristic for Michael's personality in Japan, and why the Japanese loved him so much. Now, as you can imagine, that 1973 tour went insanely well, but Japan wanted more. Even when 1982 hits and Thriller was released, it became a cultural phenomenon, becoming the best-selling album of all time. But weirdly, Michael didn't tour in Japan in this period. Despite that, you couldn't walk down the streets of Tokyo or Osaka without seeing Michael plastered everywhere. Japan's hunger for the king was peaking, but sadly they had to wait over a decade for Michael to return. But finally, in 1987, Michael announced his first ever solo tour, which would kick off in Tokyo of all places. And this was the peak of Michael Mania. This shit was at an all-time high. Japan went into a literal state of emergency. We're talking 600 reporters at the airport just waiting to get a glimpse of him. That level of aura makes modern celebrities like Drake and Taylor Swift seem like nothing in comparison. Japan had been waiting for this moment for Michael to show up, and Michael did not disappoint. That 1987 Bad Tour wasn't just about the concerts, it was Michael laying the blueprints for his success in Japan. And during this era, one of the most legendary moments came about, as Michael became great friends with Hikikomori. And if you don't know who that is, it's the co-founder and chairman of Sony. These two became incredibly close incredibly quickly. Michael would literally hang out at the Sony HQ like it was some sort of youth center. He was fascinated by the latest tech. This connection really helped cement Michael into Japan's deeper subconscious, and what really helped was Michael's human side. If you know anything about the king of pop, then you know how much of a humanitarian he really was. During the tour, an incredibly sad incident took place where a 5-year-old boy was kidnapped and killed. It made headlines everywhere in Japan. Michael caught wind of the situation, and he didn't ignore it. He dedicated that performance in Osaka to the child and donated 1.6 million yen to the boy's family. That's the type of person Michael was, despite what modern news outlets might say. In Japan, honor and empathy is deeply embedded into the culture. So this move deeply cemented respect for Michael beyond his superstar image. To Japan, he wasn't another American artist here to make quick cash, but a man who treated his fans with total respect. But let's lighten up the topic a little bit. Let's talk about his kawaii image. In Japan, many people started calling him the king of kawaii, and it's easy to see why. During this tour, Michael brought out Bubbles, and this is insane. Him and Bubbles were laced up in matching suits. This level of swagger is unattainable. Only Michael could do this. I mean, how do you look this fly while dressing up with a monkey? How is that possible? Michael was even invited to Osaka City Hall to have tea with the mayor. This is the type of thing that only Michael could pull off, and this all added to his pure soul image. He was the biggest, most powerful entertainer on earth. But he still had that childlike demeanor that felt so authentic to the Japanese public, and it's simply why they saw him as the king of kawaii. After the Bad Tour was over, Japan was wondering, when will Michael return? And it wasn't long till he did. By 1992, Michael returned for his Dangerous World Tour, and if you thought the Bad Tour did well, holy shit, you've not seen anything yet. During this tour, Michael sold out Tokyo Dome for 8 nights in a row. I don't think you guys realize how insane those implications are. That's nearly 400,000 people in one city alone. Michael Mania was at an all-time high, and this became one of the biggest achievements of Michael's career. But during this era, one of the biggest gaming urban legends came to exist, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Michael loved video games and he loved Sega. He actually flew out to their offices and met the team and started composing the soundtrack. If you listen to the music for Sonic 3, especially Ice Cap Zone and Carnival Night Zone, you can literally hear Michael's influence. It's got his signature sound, and some tracks sound like very early versions of Stranger in Moscow. Take a listen. Now, I'm a massive fan of Michael Jackson, and I'm a massive fan of Japanese culture. But Japanese is an incredibly hard language, and sometimes I wish it was just easier to learn Japanese. I partnered up with Lingopie, who are my very first sponsors, to help you learn Japanese. But what is Lingopie? Well, Lingopie allows you to learn Japanese through subtitles. Yeah, you heard me right. You can enjoy our long list of TV shows, documentaries, and educational programs through Lingopie. It breaks down the Japanese into English or your respected language, making learning the language far more easier than it ever has been before. For me personally, for the last couple of days, I've been using it, and I found it incredibly easy to use and very efficient. So if you're interested in learning Japanese today, or maybe any language in general, check out the link in the description to Lingopie. It'll also be in the pinned comment down below. Let's get back to Seiru and Michael's relationship. At this point of time, Michael was truly on top of the world. It felt like nothing could stop him until the first set of allegations in the US broke. The world was split. People didn't really know what to believe. People thought this was a plot to make a quick buck, while others were suspicious due to Neverland and Michael's association with children. But this is where Japan's loyalty showed. While the West was ready to throw Michael under the bus, Japan was completely by his side. Whether you believe the accusations or not, Japan really didn't care about the tabloids. They still saw Michael as that pure Kawaii person they've known for decades. However, despite Sega being a Japanese-owned company, they got nervous about their public image in America and cut ties, scrubbing Michael from the Sonic franchise. But is this actually true? It's incredibly hard to find an accurate statement on the matter. But some say that Michael was the one who cut ties because he wasn't happy with how his music sounded on the Genesis hardware. Knowing Michael, he was a perfectionist, so this isn't too hard to believe. But considering the timeline, the timing was just too perfect. Sadly, whatever the case, this effectively killed the greatest collaboration in gaming history. But even through this legal sticky situation, the love for Michael hadn't faded in Japan. Because of this, Michael would go on late night shopping sprees in Tokyo, and even visit Tokyo Disneyland after hours, being surrounded by fans who just wanted to show him love. Japan became a safe haven from the exploitation of the press that didn't really care if the claims were real or fake, as long as they made headlines and money. Japan became the one place on earth where Michael was still being treated as Michael. After those allegations, sadly more followed, and Michael started to distance himself more from the spotlight. While I won't get into it in this video, Michael's mental health started to spiral, and his plastic surgery and health got worse. Despite all of this, even into the 2000s, Japan still had a deep respect for him. In 2006, Michael made a legendary return to Japan for the MTV Music Awards to accept his legend reward. Watching the footage, you can truly see Michael happy and safe. While the West was still sensationalizing Michael, Japan was screaming his name. In 2007, Michael even held these VIP events in Tokyo where people were literally paying thousands just to be in the same room with him for a couple minutes. 3 minutes aura hadn't faded one bit, and then the greatest comeback tour was announced. Michael announced This Is It in London, and that hype was unreal. My parents actually arranged for me to go to one of these concerts, but sadly, I didn't get to go, because as we all know, This Is It never came to be. June 25th, 2009, Michael Joseph Jackson was pronounced dead. The music world stopped. Fuck it, the entire world stopped. It didn't matter if you were a fan of Michael Jackson or if you believed the controversies. The death of Michael Jackson was a shock to everyone. It was so much of a shock, in fact, that even his longtime rival Prince showed deep respect and upset at his passing. And just like everywhere else, Japan was hit hard. It wasn't just headlines, it was a day of national mourning. Government officials, including the Minister of Health, issued official statements of grief. You had thousands of fans at Tokyo Tower creating massive shrines with flowers, letters, and pictures. They didn't just lose their favorite artist, but they lost a part of their culture. But the passing of Michael didn't mean the end of Michael Mania. Oh no. Michael Mania took over the world once again, but especially in Japan. Michael took over Japan's J-pop scene. So many artists took over his fashion, his music, his dancing. The influence of Michael could be seen everywhere. Daichi Miura is basically the torchbearer of Michael's technical perfection. And Toshinobu Kubota, he's literally the one who brought Michael's soul to Japanese R&B. Even today, you can still feel Michael's influence in groups like JO1 and BE:FIRST. And if you really think about it, Michael drew the blueprint for the modern idol in Japan. Which brings us to today. At the end of the month, Michael's biopic will be finally releasing, and I'm so excited for it. But I'm also terrified. I hope it isn't a disaster like All Eyes on Me, and it's a biopic that truly shows who Michael was without exaggerating any other parts of him. But I'm not the only one who's excited. The buzz in Japan is huge. This isn't just another biopic, but it's a chance for a whole generation of Japanese to understand why their parents and grandparents were obsessed with the man that Japan called the King of Kawaii. Michael Joseph Jackson was more than just a musician. He was a bridge between cultures and ages, a man who wanted to do nothing more than unite the world through music, and found peace in a country that truly understood him. He's a legend that proves that true talent is immortal. So if you go to watch the movie later this month, just remember, you're not just watching another pop star's journey, you're watching a man who turned the entire world, especially Japan, Japan into his personal dance floor. Rest in peace to the greatest of all time. Long live the king. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It took me such a long time to write the script and research everything. And also check out Lingopie in the link in the description down below or the pinned comment. It's just insane to me that I have a sponsor on the channel now, especially with just the size of my channel. It's just insane. Also consider subscribing. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by June. And if you're like me and everybody else on the channel, you're probably interested in Japan and probably music too, considering you're watching this video. I have 2 videos on my channel about Japanese R&B and Japanese hip-hop. So if you're interested, check those out also. Well, that's the end of this video, and I'll see you guys again next week for another one. Peace out.